actually using 360 movement. So, as tempting as this is, I'd rather try it on normal first. Just look at how hard it is to actually get in the center. So let's go back to over the shoulders. Now to go find a crank. Before they tell me. You know what, I'll just go here for the crank dialogue. Something with the square could fit
What is
here.
it with this guy and cranks?
He's a man of refined tastes.
He's obsessed. That's what he is.
This is why I love Jill. Jill just has such great answers. Even though her one-liners, I personally feel, are like a really good contrast between Chris. She's no Sheva, but she brings a unique flavor to commentary. Weird, I could really believe I've seen that picture before. Now, I always think it's funny how, like, every few years Capcom, basically Capcom doesn't know what to do with this series. So every few years you end up with this, where, we're returning back to the series' roots. Hey look, lightning. And a dead body.
Eagle 6 to nest. Do you read?
We read you, Eagle 6. Go ahead.
Aw, the
Found
ragdolls
some
went
men
away
down.
on the body.
Judging by their wounds, it looks like they were physically assaulted. I figure they're probably Spencer's security. Lord only knows what killed them.
Roger that. We knew this mission wouldn't be a cakewalk.
Wait, did I miss an item? I swear I saw a pop-up. Hey look, more blood. Now, even though Chris could quite literally pull his hand on the other side and unlock it, he apparently respects locks. Hey look, a bunch of dead people. It won't open for some reason. Jeez, Chris, maybe if you put your hand on the other side. No, yeah, just pieces of wood. Broken balcony. Don't worry, the quality of this place is very well made. Now, unlike the original Resident Evil, even though this is like a clear reference, the puzzles aren't too elaborate. So even though this locked door does exist in Remake, the puzzles aren't quite as sophisticated, but they're still a nice throwback. Speaking of throwback, now that we've seen the floor is broken, let's go throw Jill across. Wait, can I really still not do that? I could have sworn you could throw Jill. Alright. This is honestly something I kind of miss in the newer Resident Evils, which I'm kind of excited that Resident Evil 2's remake is going back to this style, where it's not just all run and gun strategic action. And I really do mean strategic, unlike other strategic shooters, and it bothers me to call Resident Evil a shooter. The combat, even though it features a gun, really should never be anything like a shooter. Even though 4 accidentally helped create the third-person shooter. Resident Evil's like unique enough that it doesn't need to like go that route. You know what's not unique? These lamps. I really do believe they're from Remake. Okay, I feel like I'm forgetting something obvious at this point. I forgot to hit the lever. Sure enough. Kind of a shame you have to beat this campaign once to play as Jill. Alright, we got the doors unlocked. Now we can throw Jill. This truly is the throwback that everyone wanted in Resident Evil. Funny enough, this wasn't supposed to be DLC. Capcom just decided to rip it out of the game. I'm not kidding. This was originally supposed to be included in the base game. And funny enough, I feel like a bunch of people still remember those interviews.
Well, looky here. I found a weapon I can use. Kinda takes you back, doesn't it?
To Raccoon City? Unfortunately, yeah. That's where all this started.
Hard to believe that was 8 years ago. I guess I am getting older.
You're not the only one.
You know what?
I got the door open.
Hey, look, you can see Jill's shadow. I know it's a little late. Well, not entirely late. I know I should have done this earlier, but I kind of want to play in 1080. But I still want to keep the 60 frames. Yeah, I know this is stupid to be doing it now. God damn it, I want this. If anything, the stream will look nicer. It'll be downsampled. Downsampling. Did the game just crash? Game? Capcom? Capcom, I know you're better than this. You wouldn't make a game crash. Sure enough, it crashed. Pretty bad, actually. But it's the type of bad you can't give the full details on Twitch because of TOS. I can't believe it! Resident Evil crashed just from changing the screen resolution. Why does this keep happening on my channel? Why do games keep getting more and more buggy? Okay, Capcom, how about now? Now will you give me my 1080? It crashed again. You know, I'm willing to give this one more shot, putting it at 1080. One more. Okay, yeah, that's good enough. This is good enough. You know, it's like, what was that one game that actually said that? Mighty Note 9? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the one who said it's just good enough. Already this game is making sounds again. Why does Resident Evil keep crashing? I'm pretty sure Capcom games aren't known for crashing every so often. Zin, are you familiar with Capcom games running? Or, I'm sorry, not running? Because I'm not. Like, really? You didn't see that other screen. You know what? Where's that music? I know these games run well. Chrono played through all of Dragon's Dogma. Capcom, why? Why, Capcom? You had one thing to do. One simple thing. But really? Is it too much to expect a game to work properly? Come on. Oh. Oh, it's working. Finally. Now put this all the way on the side and... And now it's not aligned on OBS, because of course it isn't. You know, it's almost like another debugging stream. Almost. Really, almost. Wait, I already went through this. Yeah, but completely brand new menus you definitely didn't see before. I'm pretty sure I remember this cutscene being skippable. First time here, we definitely didn't have issues. Yep, none whatsoever. We're here for the Metroidvania experience that Capcom has crafted so well that every so few years they keep returning to this.
Eagle 6 to next.
You know, after messing up as a shooter.
We read you, Eagle 6. Go ahead.
We found some men down.
Yeah, that's what
Wounds,
we're
it
here
looks like they
for.
were physically assaulted. I figure they're probably Spencer's security.
Shoot, I basically spent 12 minutes just testing stuff.
Roger that. We knew this mission wouldn't be a cakewalk. Use extreme caution.
Chris, I'm in a dining room.
Alright, now to break all these pots again. Clearly fine china like this deserves to be broken twice. As many times as you can on stream, actually.
Raccoon City? Fortunately, yeah. That's where all this started.
Now, it's been a couple of years since I've played Remake,
The only one.
let alone this DLC. I played it like once at a friend's house, so I might not remember where all the stars are. But don't worry, I'll get a good amount of them. I will get 2 or your money back, guaranteed. If I get less than 2, I can personally say this without a doubt. Now for some lore! Patrick's Memoirs 1. For a time, it appeared as Master Spencer would recover his former health, but fate was not so kind, and now he confines himself to his study for days on end. It has been ages since I have seen him take his meals in the dining hall. I have Is that a V? Endeavored to prepare meals in the dining. Wait, haven't I read this before? And I bring them every day to the study. Unfortunately, he lacks the strength to eat anything but soup and other Okay, I'm convinced this is ripped straight from Resident Evil Remake. Come on, Capcom, why are you copying text from the first game? Alright, let's get your ears in. Now, even though a lot of the lighting is pre-rendered in this game, you can sort of tell how Chris and Jill's shadows aren't affected by the fire. I personally just love the lighting in this game, and like, this part really shows off how good the lighting was for its time. Oh, did I not get the enemy? So similar to Remake, you get different things. Sometimes you'll get an enemy jump you, other times you'll get ambient sound effects. Like this herb.
Surround off.
Why did my headset just scream that at me?
Surround on.
This is the stream where everything just keeps on breaking all the way. And even when you think it's stable, you better think again. Now, normally I would keep the map, but I still remember enough of the Spencer estate to not need it. I mean, hell, I played through it in Evil Within. Patrick's Memoirs 2. Blah blah blah, recopied from Resident Evil Remake. I swear if we find Itchy tasty. I love that. Chris isn't even going to play the piano. He's like, Jill, You're talented. You play it.
Jill!
Roger.
It's so goofy. You can tell this wasn't made for Chris. You know, can I just say, for this game being mocapped, I'm kind of surprised they didn't afford to mocap the character, you know, actually playing the keys. For whatever it's worth, this is actually a different rendition of the song. They're not using the one from Remake. Now, as much as I personally just love to listen to this song, like really, I would much rather listen to it than press that piano. Did I say piano instead of button? Well, it's over. One of the neat things about this DLC, as I'm sure you might have noticed, is the doors. They no longer have the Resident Evil 4 mechanics. They've gone back to the Resident Evil 1 mechanics, just without the loading screens. Now, in the actual Resident Evil remake, that puzzle is nowhere as easy. I'm pretty sure you need to get, like, a weight, and you need to avoid some blades, and you also need to push something. Those are some really flat trees, but they still manage to look high detail. Ah, shoot, I just realized something. It's impossible to get all the stars as Chris. Because there's one on the place where Jill is at.
Jill!
Okay.
Well, at least we can get Jill to lockpick.
Okay. It's open.
Hey, Jill, we should probably give her this.
Thanks.
Can I request this gun from
Give me
her?
your machine
Take
gun.
this.
Nah, Jill shouldn't have two pistols.
Thanks.
Hey look, there's that picture again. Alright, here. I think this is the new lore. Now, I honestly love this because it's basically a reference, or not a reference, but it's foreshadowing for what would have happened in Resident Evil Revelations 2. It basically talks about Alex. And one thing I love about this is, you could probably tell it if you actually read this, but Alex is referred to with gender-neutral words. Yeah, they're pulling a Samus right here. We don't entirely know who Alex is. I thought it was a nice thing, like, you wouldn't really notice it until you realize they're trying to keep Alex's identity secret. Three passwords. That's another nice callback. Unlike the other computers in this game, this one isn't running on not Windows 7. Or, I mean, Vista. I don't think 7... Wait, was 7 out? Yeah, 7 was out at this time. Weird how there's so many books, but for some reason they only managed to read the ones on Alex. Ooh, a torture room. Clearly it's not a bomb shelter. Actually, yeah, why is that door so rusty and beat up?
Give me a come on!
Use this.
I did not mean for that to come out that way. Give me a come on! Oh, I forgot all the goofy stuff you could do in this game with the actual, like, come on, go commands. Alright, I don't think I got an enemy yet. Oh, that's another thing I forgot. This, right here. You can hear someone playing a song on the piano. It's not Moonlight Sonata. I hope you could hear it. I know it's really soft, but... yeah, it's one of those things. I'm not sure if there was anything deeper meant in it. But sure enough, this place might actually be the first There Be Ghosts in Capcom. Like, actual ghosts, and not like, oh, the zombies just looked like ghosts. Or, I'm sorry, I meant the not zombies. Because when you go back to the room, the music will stop. And the enemies you fight here are not civilized enough to play the piano. So for whatever that's worth, this could be the first confirmation of ghosts in the Resident Evil world. You know, Resident Evil has really had a weird thing with the paranormal. I don't think you get anything for killing the bat. I could be wrong though. Ah, shoot, it flew out the window. Come on, Batty. Batty, stop flying out the window. I'm trying to shoot you. I want to shoot you inside, Batty. At this rate, I'm better off just knifing him. You know what? No, I've wasted too much time. He has to die. And he phased out of the world. Well, I'm not getting whatever he dropped. Well, time to go burn the paper. It's just like on the Famicom! It's almost like this is a direct reference to Sweet Home and having to burn something on... Wait, no, Sweet Home wasn't the NES game you burnt something on. Yeah, you can hear the piano better here. Alright, so now we have 2 passwords. And I believe the last one is on the desk of the computer I tried logging into. Ooh, here's a good spot for the piano. Yeah, but we're not here for lore. We're here for 60 frames. I get the feeling they're going to hide a star there. Alright, I'm pretty sure the last password's in this room. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was in the room with the rusty door. I honestly love the slow tension that was in like the older Resident Evil games. 4 still had a little bit, and so does 5, but honestly this is just like the epitome of Capcom pulling it off perfectly. It's slow, there's a chance you'll get jumped every so often. Had some nice ambiance. Kind of weird how... Well, I guess Resident Evil 7 kind of replicates this. Just replace mansion with rednecks. Evil Within, even though it also features a "we swear it's not the Spencer estate." Something about the puzzles don't have like the same, and level design, they don't have the same impact, even though they're both pulling from the same source of inspiration. At least Resident Evil 5 for this part. You know, Resident Evil remake. I feel like Resident Evil 5 just pulls off the mansion part better. Hey, Spencer's Memoirs 4. Maybe I missed something in these bookshelves. Just maybe. Definitely not a secret door. Why else would you just randomly have curtains there? Huh. Maybe I'm misremembering. I'll try the rusty door one more time before I start exploring other rooms. Wow, is the spot dark? Not dark enough to hide something. Now this is a pretty simplified version of the Spencer estate, so there aren't too many spots you can hide stuff in. I know each run's a little bit random, but because like sometimes there won't be a gun where the gun is. Sometimes you'll get a different gun altogether, but still. Maybe I should just go up where Jill was. Maybe I can climb away. Well, I'm pretty sure you can only go there as Jill. Did I already get the paper here? Sure enough. Yeah, there's a star there. Well, actually, I might just be able to get it. Well, I take it back. I might just be able to get all of them. Alright, so the piano's still playing, but if I remember right, getting near the door will cause it to stop. Yep, just like that. The music's gone. And there's no one there. So yeah, for whatever it's worth. Ghosts in Resident Evil, the thing. They can't really ever make up their mind on whether or not they want it or not. I feel like even the Evil Within suffered from that. Maybe it's in the bathroom. Well, I found this. That makes it worthwhile. Aw, the music isn't playing. Damn it, I got rid of the piano. I kinda regret going into that room. I wanted the piano. The piano makes everything better. No, I completely forgot about the upstairs. I guess I'm so used to like a different way to go through the level.
You bailed me out back there. Thanks. Thanks.
Nah, Jill has her own.
Come on!
Out of the question. You bailed me
Oh
out
shit,
back there.
I didn't mean to actually give that to her.
Give me a grenade.
Take this.
I feel like that's about as good as I'll get item management wise. Yeah, I completely forgot about this part of the mansion. Kind of weird, only breaking the star with all those plates. Hey look, there's a painting of the mansion we're at. Not Spencer's estate. Ooh, a shotgun. Shotguns are always good in Resident Evil, even if the laser sight might be worthless on them. Holy shit, this is itchy tasty. I was right, these are from Remake. Yeah, sure enough, itchy tasty, right there. Oh, Capcom and how you've constantly tried to recapture itchy tasty. It's not that it's bad. But did Capcom? Why'd you? No, I didn't want to pause. Itchy Tasty's almost like become a classic trope in old style Resident Evil. How did I kick that door? Wasn't I supposed to have Resident Evil 1 rules? I guess they forgot to put it for the doors. That's convenient. Or not doors, gates. Alright then. Yeah, the gates follow the Resident Evil 4 rules, while every other door follows the Resident Evil 1 rule. It's weird. Wonder if that's an oversight. Alright, now to put in these passwords on... What version of Windows would it have been? Windows Millennia? I have been in Master Spencer's employ for the majority of my adult life. As of late, however, I find his actions to be inscrutable. For example, he has taken every possible precaution to conceal his whereabouts from the outside world. For whatever reason, I do not know. Then, one day, he asked me to find a certain man and make him aware of the Master's whereabouts. I do not know why he would go to such lengths to contract this man. Perhaps he wanted to see if someone could find him. The man in question is one Mr. Albert Wesker, a name I have not heard in quite a long time. I only met him once, and that was over 10 years ago. I am ashamed to admit I cannot recall his face, because as head butler, it is my job to remember people. The reason I believe is because of his eyes. Those cold and feeling eyes that completely overshadow his other features, even though he wears sunglasses. At any rate, I haven't why can't I read the letters in that word? There's something about the comic book font. I have endeavored to get the information into into Wesker's hands without letting on that it was Master Spencer's desire that he have that information. I know of a certain unscrupulous individual who could put the information on the streets for the right price. He is the kind that does not care who he talks to. What made the individual I found of such importance is that he is in the employment of a female spy who has regular dealings with Wesker. Yeah, I guess you're wondering where Ada was during this game. I paid this man, I forget if his name was Roberto or Ricardo, more than he deserved, and gave him the bare minimum of information necessary to fulfill Master Spencer's wishes. I dutifully carried out Master Spencer's directions to the letter. It was at this point that the situation took an even more cryptic turn. Sin, why are you pointing a water gun? Not even pointing, it's basically just pointing at your own name. The Master, he... God, I forgot how stupid some of these slides got. The Master, the Master. The Master, he let me go, but I do not know why. I asked him for a reason, the only time I have ever questioned him, but he responded with only silence. I do not know what to do now. I am filled with a sense of loss. Everything I have ever known is gone. I dedicated my entire life to serving the Spencer estate, and now that book has been forcibly closed for no apparent reason. The only ones who remain will be those untrustworthy security guards who we saw killed in front, and the people imprisoned below the premise. I truly doubt the guard's ability to attend all of Master Spencer's needs. Could it be he plans on dying? No! He is not that type of man. He would not want to leave all his affairs in such an unfinished state. Master Spencer must have some grand machinations at work that are beyond my ability to comprehend. At any rate, I can only obey his wish and take my leave. I'll be loyal until the very end, even if it breaks my heart to do so. Apparently Windows was so moved by that story it had to beep. To hear all the Spencer kids, or not Spencer, wait, were they Spencer or Alex? Or Wes? Spencer kids. So as people may or may not know from Resident Evil lore, the only ones seemingly worthwhile are Wesker and Alex. I just love that weird, like, sissy reaction Chris has. He's like this buff man. It's like, yeah, you touched me.
I can't stop it! The controls must be somewhere else!
So even though this puzzle shows up in Remake and in Resident Evil 4, this one's a little bit more involved.
I'll shoot the lock. Stand back.
Oh, weird. This one also doesn't have, Oh wait, I take it back. It does have Resident Evil. It was like a mixture of the Resident Evil 1 and 4 door mechanics. But yeah, this puzzle's a little bit more involved.
Sure know how to keep a girl waiting.
Chris, aren't you going to answer her? Chris is supposed to say a one-liner. Weird. You gotta love how Jill just rolls with the punches at this point. She's not even like, oh my god, I almost died. It's like, now's the time to do a one-liner. And despite almost being killed, AI Jill just decides to stay there. So there is a callback to Resident Evil 4 here. What was the solution in that game now holds a star. If I can find the damn thing. Did Jill already get it? Like, you can even see it in the cutscene. Where is the damn star? Yeah. I got more than 2 stars. That's good enough for me. Now to get the, No, that's not what I want. Maybe I'm just oblivious or something, but I can't find the star. Oh well. Now to go use that crank. Good old cranks. Kind of a shame they sort of vanished from the older Resident Evil game, or later ones. You know, there's limitless jokes here. Even the game makes fun of itself on that. Now for some good old quick time events. The most timing focused ones. I could be doing better, to be honest. How about you, Sin? How are you doing? Alright, I forgot about this door. It's the convenient door of no return. See? Can't go back, despite the lock clearly being on this side. Clearly. Now to just jump down, because that makes sense.
Wow.
No. But I hope we don't run into whatever's making it.
And when have we ever been that lucky?
Now, I always thought this was weird. Why exactly would Spencer have this in his house? Like, the laboratory makes sense, but who keeps an old torture cell in your basement? Why would you want this in your house?
You grab it.
Roger.
What need could you ever have for a torture cell in your basement?
I owe you one.
I need ammo.
Take this.
Much appreciated.
Really? I'm just not seeing it. Like, this is too barbaric. Oh, we heard the scary music. Now for the scary stuff to happen. because that's how music cues work. Now, if you walk slowly, you can actually see the shadow of the enemy on the other side through the wall. A little goofy, but I feel like the lighting's good enough to forgive. Now, this guy likes to jump you on walls. Yeah, the AI is smart enough to know to, like, wait behind corners. There he is. Come on, Chris, you can aim better.
What the hell is its problem?
This is why it
So-
smells so bad. Be careful.
The way this puzzle works is one of you is supposed to distract it in front, and the other one of you is supposed to shoot it from behind, but the AI isn't all that good at doing that. So you end up having to get really creative with this. And I really mean creative. Because it really doesn't work the way it should with the AI. Oh, I missed that punch completely. Now this enemy is like pretty different compared to most of the Resident Evil 5 enemies. Oh, popped. Damn. Didn't get the punch popped.
You gotta be careful.
Much appreciated.
The enemy kind of makes health all not worthwhile. The majority of his attacks are either like one-hit kills if you don't have your AI partner help you. Well, actually, yeah. Most of them are, because almost all of them put you in the dying state. Yeah, this would be a lot more strategic with, you know, non-AI companions. Where did I decide to jump that time? Like, really? Why there? You can never quite predict the AI in Capcom. Like, I swear it has moments of planning. And it's just enough moments to make you wonder. Like, it really is. So as you can sort of tell, the combat in Lost in Nightmares is, while technically playing the same, it's really built in a completely different way. Rather than have a bunch of people, it's just one scary guy with an anchor. I mean, he has to be scary, just look at the dramatic music he has. You can tell this guy was basically just like... He's like one of the examples of concept art just being made into a character. You know, he kind of has that too unique look to him. But funny enough, you will see multiple of him at once. Oh shit, at this rate I should probably just get the shotgun out. The worst part is when you just get stuck on the geometry. And we got a score star. The scores. I know the score doesn't matter, it's really more of a time thing. But still, it's of course nice to have. We'll be right back. And we're back. I'm back to exploring this weirdly out of place torture basement. Like, really. This looks like comedically barbaric. You have the mansion that looks like an old, like, high class. Then you just have out of nowhere this random torture basement. I wonder if I can actually shoot him from here. I'm sure someone could, but I'm definitely not getting a good angle.
I owe you one.
Kind of weird that Joel got hit. Usually the AI is really good at dodging stuff like that. Now, despite what it would seem like, there really isn't much to this fight. It's almost identical to the other one. I swear it's weird the way it even gets stuck on geometry. I can't quite help feel like that wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, I really don't feel like it's supposed to fall like that. Maybe I could make that a segment. Just breaking stuff. You know, do what beta testers get paid to do for free. That type of thing. Now, while this is definitely completely different in tone to the base game, I can't help but feel like this is a little too campy to really be scary, which I feel is something every survival horror or anything never quite captures. Is it ever really scary? Like in Fatal Frame, when you're fighting the ghost with a camera, was anyone ever scared? Or the same with Silent Hills, but replace camera with, I don't know, the holy item of the day? Is it ever well, not theatrical. I'm sure the movies made it theatrical. Was anyone ever really scared from it? Why did Chris just pause for that moment? I swear it looks like this guy's starting to walk in circles. Maybe it's not just him who's breaking. Maybe everyone around him is just suffering from weird ledge problems. I really can't help but feel like this wasn't intended. I know I can't get the third punch off. Maybe I'm remembering things wrong, and maybe that wasn't a feature in Veteran. Now, maybe it's just because I've heard the song way too long, but is it just me, or does this song kind of remind anyone else of, like, some of the songs in Earth, or Mother, like the original Mother? You know, Earthbound Beginnings. That Mother. I don't know, but I swear there has to be something similar with I swear there has to be, like, some similar notes. I can't just be crazy thinking one song sounds similar to the other. Look, another score star. You know, for a bunch of police officers who were in something called the Star Squad, kind of weird how they never really had stars in their, well, gimmick as when they were police officers. I feel like that'd be the perfect thing. Oh, there's a bunch of cops. Let's give them a bunch of stars. But nope, that never seemingly happened. Only years later would they get a bunch of stars. Now, if I remember right, this time it's a little more involved.
Help me out here! Help!
Yeah, I don't remember the AI being this bad. Or the mine's not working. Maybe I forget it. Nope, everything's still going. And you kind of don't want to go too far in this part, because for some reason, if you do, two of them show up. Two weirdos with an anchor. That's far too many. Really, the world has enough weirdos with an anchor.
Be more careful, okay?
Much appreciated.
Hope Shield doesn't pick up the mine. Because you would almost expect the bad AI to do it. Still not getting it off, right? Oh well, time to reuse this part of the map. I'm not kidding. If you just can't fight them in the more narrow corners, or corridors, you're just allowed to run back here. Oh shoot, that guy's alive again. Kind of weird how it's like, oh, having too much problems with... Could this guy be a mini-boss? I feel like he could count as one. He has dramatic music. But I don't feel like he could count as one. Wow, I just keep missing every shot. That's kind of bad. It's like, huh, a survival horror game where the main premise of the combat is aiming. Alright. I think just a few more punches and we should be down to go. Why is this guy taking so many more hits than the other? You know what? You're right, Sin. Clearly more mines is the answer. All of them. More mines than the shotgun. Oh, that is... How did he blow up 2 mines? I refuse to believe that. Yeah, the guy manages to blow up 2 mines, but somehow doesn't blow up that one. I swear, the AI is really not working the way it's supposed to. Like, I don't know, I would expect Jill to shoot it. Just maybe a little? Instead of just standing there? I really don't remember the AI being this bad. And getting stuck in reload animations. Maybe I was better off just getting a real person to do this with. No, it's never too late to go get a random online person. Capcom games are surprisingly active years after. It's never too late to go get a random. The one thing that's kind of a shame is Mercenaries. I feel like there's never enough players for, like, any version of Mercenaries. I know only 5 and 6 are... Actually, no, I think the 3DS version also had online. Honestly, I wish more of the Mercenaries had more players. This guy is really not showing his eye. Now, thinking about it, I feel like this is the first enemy in a while in 5 to actually do, like, the eye trope. I'm trying to think, but I don't remember too many other guys doing the eye gimmick.
I owe you one.
Oh shoot, how did Jill go through all the healing items? And now, on to fight another one, because you know that's going to happen. Out of all things, he's still alive. That's dead enough. More lighting, or lighting. Yeah, the light bulbs, they're lighting. You know, it's kind of weird how only select parts of the mansion are shown in disrepair. It really makes you wonder how only something can go partially out of maintenance. Because, like, you see the paint being removed and all. Thanks, Jill. Just using the item.
I'll cover you.
Oh, now the AI decides to work. Sure enough. You can never predict Capcom AI.
Come on!
Okay.
Neat hydration bot.
You bailed me out back there.
Give me your machine
Use
gun.
this.
You know what? I think I will go get a bottle of water. Just for hydration bot. Yeah, definitely get water. What are the odds of hydration bot finally showing up? Really?
I need ammo.
Use this.
What are the odds?
Thanks.
I feel like he's never on time. Alright, if Jill's actually going to play the role of sniper, I figured I should actually give her the sniping stuff. Makes sense, right? Jill decides to be the sniper after the part's over.
Jill!
Roger.
Like I said, you can never predict Capcom AI. How'd she get here so fast? Now, as normal people, or not normal people, as you'd normally try and fight off the keepers, you know, the guys with the anchors, can't help but feel like it could be its own fun to just try and rush through. But I really wouldn't recommend that without, like, an actual person and not the AI. Now to see if we can actually get some strategy in this combat. Now this part's a bit harder because, as you can see, you have two of them. And the AI was never really good at this part. You're honestly better off just using your explosives here. Really. Ah shit, I missed the kick. Oh, Jill got it off. Yep.
I owe you one.
Intended combat.
Come on! Come on!
Roger.
Sometimes I feel like the AI really should have never even bothered with this. Like, you can tell this part's really made with like having a real player in mind. Just occasionally, everything lines up. You know, assuming when they actually get the shots off. I feel like Jill's AI borders between accurate and hopeless. Like, there's no in the middle. She either gets her shots or she just doesn't get them at all. It's so weird. Whatever it's worth, this seems like a good spot to just punch them repeatedly.
Help me out here! Help! Help me out here! Help me out here!
I always wondered why the AI never bothers to shoot when you're screaming for help. Alright,
Give me a grenade.
Use this.
I'm just going to request, you know, the actual grenades now. Yeah, Jill might as well take both guns. Oh, I can't give her both. Weird. Alright, since I know putting Jill up there triggers the other one. Oh wait, I was wrong.
Thanks.
I could have sworn throwing Jill up was the trigger.
Come on.
Roger.
Maybe it has been a while since I played this. Like a little too long. Yeah, this part is technically not part of the original mansion. Maybe we'd be better off just using the map here. Alright, got the silver part. Rather than just fight, I feel like I'm going to skip this part. I know I said I was going to get all the stars. Maybe I do have to fight the one veteran. Maybe I really am just remembering everything out of order. And of course now Jill doesn't want to actually do the sniper part. Yeah, this isn't going smooth. Why are there still cells here? I just noticed them. Why did you need little cells in this part? Like, it really feels unnecessary to have cells here. Alright, what is this, round 3 or round 4?
Give me a grenade.
Use this.
No, really never feels like it's too late to restart, but with the non-AI companion.
Be more careful, okay?
Thanks for the help.
I wonder if I can use the iframes to just run through them. No, they ran through me. Weird. I really feel like I'm messing up something obvious. I feel like this should be one of the easier parts. They're just right there. Both of them. You should just keep, you know, just punching them one after another, but AI Jill is not really making this easy.
Give me a grenade.
Take this.
Like, just the fact that she gets stuck on that wall every so often. Alright, I think I have him in a good spot now. Yeah, I feel like we can actually make this work. Except when their iframes act up. And just maybe. This guy's just pushing me. Run past him. And of course she gets herself grabbed. I think I now know why everyone goes out of their way to play this part with the real person.
Give me a grenade.
Take this.
Come on, come on.
Roger.
I still really don't remember the thing actually getting jammed when you try to put them in. The plate pieces. I need to use all the machine gun ammo. It's not like I'm running low on that. Damn it. Get the other guy punched. Can't really tell if this is going better or not. Well, so much for the machine gun. Oh neat, I got one of them dead. Yeah, I can definitely deal with one no problem. Wow, that went surprisingly well. Although I can't help but feel like I've missed one star. Well, for whatever it's worth, I'm actually strapped on ammo. I feel like that never showed up enough in the base game. You know, I really have to wonder why Chris and Jill were so quick to run into that room. It was closed off. What were they hoping to find?
Jill, are you okay?
I'm fine, but I lost most of my gear.
Same here. Alright, try to find a way out of there, and I'll find a way to meet up with you.
Copy that. Watch your back.
That's right, they just pulled a Samus and they just lost their gear on a fall. But thankfully we have flashbangs. Trust me, these are more helpful than you'd think. Just like this empty box. Looks empty, doesn't it? But no, there's clearly giant oversized health spray in it. Now, I get that this is DLC, even though it was supposed to be base game content, and I really appreciate that the enemies are technically unique, because you don't fight these enemies in the base game. But, well, for one, this guy isn't supposed to just be here. I don't know. I kind of wish there was more variety. I feel like this is the point where they kind of start overstaying their welcome. We could have definitely done with a few more types of enemies. I just feel like 2 is too few. Because all you have are the guys that grab you, and then Anchorman. feels really tame. Granted, you can definitely tell this is built around not having ammo. Speaking of not having ammo, let's cut the spider. I'm pretty sure it drops an egg. Oh no, it's just more star. Ah, shoot, that means I should have killed the rats. Damn. Alright, got the red crank. Now, this is one of those parts that usually, knowing the game's AI, tends to be one of those, this is either really easy or stupidly overdrawn out.
Jill,
Okay.
When you're playing by yourself, Chris cannot ready the trap. You have to get Jill to do it.
I got this. You lead them in.
Well, not too hard, assuming, you know, he gets your attention and not Jill's.
Got it.
It can definitely cause some problems every so often. Still can't believe these animals were hiding stuff. I always remember them dropping an egg. Hey Chad, how are you doing today? Have you come for the thrilling? We swear it's not Metroidvania, but then it is Metroidvania, but then it's a shooter. Gameplay? Yeah, it's kind of funny how Resident Evil has had something of an identity crisis, where every few years they keep going back to this. Ah. Hopefully you didn't have any crashes with that. I can only imagine having a crash is just as painful as having Blender crash. Wait, did I see the enemy on the map? Before I was supposed to? Okay, here's the red zone. Clearly he's dead. Oh no, that's the lock. Alright, that's good to hear. Now, I really want to point out how we just got past, like, the torture basement, and now there's, like, this weird temple. This is a little too much for me to believe that this is just in someone's house. I don't know. I get the feeling that having this weird torture temple is just a little too much to believe someone has this in their house. Can you imagine how stupidly expensive it would be to have your sewers designed as a torture temple? Wait, I was already here. Like, I get that Spencer is rich and all, but making a torture temple, I don't know, something about that just seems like it crosses the line to turn your sewer into a torture temple. There's just something about it. Really pushes the envelope.
Thanks.
Oh shoot, I didn't mean to give Jill that.
give me a grenade.
Take this.
Much appreciated.
I feel like I might have to just run past a wall and get it to magically break. Really? That seems weird. At that point, you're better off just playing it and using, like, OBS or something to record it. If it's going to make, like, a bunch of pictures. That just seems so impractical. trying to use a bunch of images instead of just an actual video feed. Huh. It's one of those types of things. Yeah, this feels kind of weird, actually seeking out the thing that's trying to hurt you. Isn't the big scary monster usually supposed to come to you in these types of things? Yeah, 20 minutes. Alright, I forgot about rendering, how it's usually not real time. That egg, yeah, we just found an egg in a box. Definitely no murder. I don't know why, but I completely forgot about the whole thing about rendering, how it's not in real time most of the time. Oh, neat. Yeah, I don't know why I completely forgot when you're rendering something. You tend not to do it in real time. Unless I guess you're using a machinima? But most people don't do machinimas anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure people remember machinima as the channel now, than instead of the actual practice, art, method, madness.
Come on!
Okay.
But are they still using machinima? Or are they actually using in-house rendering? And are they still posting it on a channel called Machinima? Because clearly I know nothing about this. Alright, I forgot! The buttons are shaped like the PlayStation buttons. Oh really? I didn't know that. I might have to look that up. Oh, I found the scary guy. Now to find the hole to put the crank in. If I were a crank, where would I want to be shoved? Hey Zen, welcome back. Actually, yeah, where is the crank hole? I didn't know that. Oh, weird. Motion capture. You know, the one thing people have been wanting from, like, Bethesda games.
Thanks for the help.
To think that Machinima somehow has it before them. Is that a question mark at the end? Why the question mark? Has the loss of the crank bothered you too, Zen? The point that you're in disbelief. Well, I say crank, but I mean crank hole. That doesn't sound right. Saying crank hole does not sound right. Maybe I'm just missing something. Zen, you know a bedmate's someone you don't actually have intercourse with, right? You do know that, right, Zen? Because isn't your whole gimmick having, I don't know, free... Aw, this isn't a square. No, they're one shape away from being the DualShock buttons. Okay, I'm just lost. I cannot find the crank hole. And that really sounds wrong. I don't see the comforting part, I only see the uncomfortable part. Okay, everything in this weird torture sewer just looks all the same. Well, I found the weirdo with the anchor. But now to find the crank hole.
Thanks.
Oh great, I found the purple crank. You know what, who needs to do the green crank? Or the blue crank? Let's just go back for purple. Purple makes sense. I can only imagine it being far worse when everything's a ping image. That looks like a bunch of coordination.
Jill.
Okay. I've got this. You lead them in.
Alright, we got the purple crank. How do I get down from here? Alright, now to find Anchorman. I can't help but feel like, yeah, sure enough, I saw him clip through the wall. I feel like that takes away some of the fear factor. Just seeing someone clip through a wall. And getting stuck on ledges. Source Film Movie Maker, I believe is what it stands for. It's that valve thing people use to make films. Or machinimas. Or, actually no, it can't be a machinima. Yeah, just think about it as an easy tool to use for making independent films, usually using Team Fortress 2 assets. Yeah, yeah, engine-based. Wait, how'd I get two of the weirdos with the anchors out? I didn't even pick up the other crank. Why are there two of them already? Wait, did that mean I had three of them out at once? Well, I guess it's never too late to find the blue crank. Which should be an X if it wasn't for the fact that the red one was already. Ooh, 24 frames. Good old-fashioned cinematic frames. Okay, so if it's taking 20 minutes and you have 8 left at 24... Oh damn, that means it would have taken over half an hour at 60 if I did my math right. Well, I found one anchor guy. Yeah, let's just ignore him. Kind of weird to think about that, where you have all the images in hand. I know video is basically just that, a bunch of images moving to create the illusion of a moving picture, but I don't know, there's something about it that would probably bother me. Okay, these cranks and crank holes have to be somewhere. Right, Blender. Now how is Blender going to handle the pictures, though? Granted, it's been a while since I've used Blender. Does Blender have a magic please make this into a video with sound feature? And can I expect a torture sewer temple in Blender's own sewers? Oh. Well, I guess that explains why people kept saying to use it as a video editor. Maybe it's just me, but all these rooms really are starting to feel the same. I'm sure it's fine. I mean, how many people are going to actually wear headphones and see if sound has 3D placement?
Thanks.
I'm sure there's not too many people. You know, I can't help but feel like every time the death animation's played, it's always been off camera because of something. Putting an Alio cover on something. That would definitely make things interesting. Ah, neat, I found the green crank.
Jill.
Roger. I've got this. You lead them in.
Alright, now to get things working. Wait, where'd he go?
Come on.
How do these guys know the map better than me?
Come on.
You know, for this being a weird torture temple sewer, I find it hard to believe that people would just magically know the layout. Hey, Zen. Zen, are you familiar with weird torture chamber sewers temples?
Jill.
Weird. That one didn't get stuck. Or, not stuck. That one didn't use his anchor like the other one did. So you are familiar with this type of thing? Ah, need a snake! Time to cut it for an egg. So how often are you known for finding eggs in torture chamber sewer temples? Oh, every Tuesday, so you live in a second world country. Okay, that's good to know. Zen, are you making a stab at potentially New York? Because I'm just saying, I've heard like those East Coasts are awful jokes, but don't people usually say them about New Jersey and not New York? Now, where could the blue crank be? Okay, I said sewer temple dungeon, not sex dungeon. How can you mistake the two? Clearly they're different. A sex dungeon would definitely have more railing and lights.
Much appreciated.
And a better map. You know, this is a surprisingly good maze, all things considered. It's doing a good job with throwing me off. How often are mazes known for did we already... okay. I don't know why, but I saw the crank and it's like... Did I already insert the crank and not notice? But no, sure enough, I still need to find the blue one. Everything's just starting to blur a little bit. Just a little. You know, for all things considered, these guys are really dressed for every occasion. What are the odds that they'd be wearing jeans that wouldn't be denim, so they wouldn't get heavy in water? I have to say, Chris and Jill are really prepared for it all. They even have a walkie-talkie in case things go bad. How often do you know people who are that prepared for, like, random, horrendous... we swear we have no way of knowing it could happen. Alright, now to find the blue crank hole.
Give me a hand! You bailed me out that
Iframes! They're really generous. The power of iframes! You too can be like Chris Redfield and face an anchor. Literally. Actually, I feel like it's a good superpower, being able to face a whole anchor.
Jill,
Roger. I've got
This
it.
one
Lead 'em in.
might just be a little bit harder since he will see Jill.
come on.
Alright. Oh shoot, he's going for Jill.
Come on.
Damn it, he ran away. This is what I mean when I say the AI is just occasionally smart. You can never really predict it. Especially the way it just gets stuck on geometry. You never know what to expect from it. Ever.
Jill.
Alright, now to leave the weird temple sewer dungeon. I mean, really. Who is running this? Like, someone went out of their way. This is like finding a Zelda temple after you already found a real Zelda temple in someone's basement. This is like finding it twice. Not even a single star in the sky. Or the ability to climb back down. Basically, Capcom wants you to feel regret if you happen to see a star that you didn't shoot. Speaking of stars. Ah, shoot, I think this is one of the ones where you need Jill. Oh right, I forgot about this part. The one time Capcom characters actually do something that makes sense and pick up the guns off dead people. I don't remember these having ammo. Well, so much for having to use Jill. Well, normally that's the last star. But since I didn't start killing the rats, that means I missed a few.
Roger.
You know what? I don't trust Jill with these.
Use this.
Spray.
I will never let go of this egg. Now for the expensive cutscene you may or may not have seen in base game, but with different sepia filters. I really love the color filters they use in the cutscenes. They're so well done. Now, I always thought it was interesting how Chris and Jill just conveniently showed up here right after Wesker killed Spencer. Like, you knew you were going to meet Spencer in one of these, but what are the odds that, bosses in Resident Evil are basically just businessmen. So what are the odds that someone else would fight him off?
Watch out!
Well, I hit A. game, don't lie to me. Or just... You know, I can't help but feel like something... Like there was more animations? Oh, now it works. So this boss fight's a little bit different than all the other Wesker fights. He's a lot better at dodging.
Watch out!
A little too good. But you can just randomly get good punches off of him. It's really hard to know when.
I'm coming! Hold on! Hold on! Hold on! Hold on! Hold on!
I feel like Chris should be moving his lips or something. Just hearing Chris say "I'm coming" without the lip syncing really looked out of place. You know, I get that Alec Wesker has the power of the Matrix, but yeah. I get he has Matrix itself as the power, but I can't help but feel like he shouldn't be this good at dodging. Well, apparently the knife is a really good shield. Actually, I don't think I ever said that word at all, Zin. Like in the slightest. Jill's getting off her shots. Maybe I need to see what she's doing.
Watch out!
Now, I know you kind of want to try and shoot him from behind, but something about that just isn't quite working. Like, now would be a good moment for Jill to shoot him. Oh shoot, I'm out of bullets. Well, time to use these flashbangs. Yeah, I don't think these flashbangs are working.
I expected more.
Or maybe they did. Maybe they just slowly killed Wesker. Alright, flashbang save the day. Oh, I forgot to mention that table. It only shows up for this cutscene. I still stand by what I said earlier. They really only sent 2 people? Back when they were cops, how they would send like 6 or 8 people? Oh, the budget cuts, they really are real. You really gotta love how stupidly over the top these cutscenes are. But they're the good over the top. You know, that's kind of impressive that Wesker could do that, considering how much taller Chris is.
Let's finish this.
Yeah, even though she had a gun, apparently it was faster for her to tackle. Maybe Jill's secretly a football star. But we know she runs a discount, or not discount, we swear it's not Subway restaurant. Yeah, Lost in Nightmares has ended. that... oh wait, sorry, I'm still unlocking stuff. Oh good, sending data. I'm sure the servers are still up. And with that... shoot, I didn't want the music to cut out. No music. Why? Why would you do it at a time like this? Yeah, I was really hoping the music wouldn't cut out. Alright. Thanks everyone who showed up. Sorry, I kind of messed up a bit during the end of... you know... that part with the Keeper fighting two of them. But... yeah, bye Zin. We're going to call it quits here. We'll do the other chapter later. Alright, goodbye everyone.